Hey everyone, it's MyJub Jr. And last Tuesday we saw a fairly major update that introduced new game modes and black market items and weapons. But in particular, one thing that stuck out to me was the balance patch made for the Stingray. So since this weapon is quite hot in popularity, I thought I would try to cover in detail what exactly has changed and how it compares to before. Starting off right with it onto the damage ranges, we see a decrease in the one burst kill range from 32 meters down to 22 meters. As seen on screen, this is quite a notable 30% decrease in range, which does indeed affect a large majority of gunfights at a mid-range, whereas before you can make do with limited lines of sight while having very little trouble. But now that will be quite a difficult task since one burst kills will be limited to what is really just close range. Thus what this nerf essentially does is it makes long barrel a necessity by doubling the one burst kill range back up to 44 meters, which is generally more than enough than typical gunfights, and it is also just slightly better than the pre-nerf base range. Now moving on to the explosive damage reduction as detailed in the patch notes. I've never really noticed any big changes here as it doesn't affect any shots to kill on regular targets, nor even on flak jacket users. So therefore I imagine this has something to do with splash damage only, but even then this never really played much of a role in the gun, so it isn't really much to stress on in the end. Now lastly on the patch notes, we have a reduction in RPMs when using the operator mod. So taking some quick tests, I measured a base RPM decrease from 380 RPM pre-patch all the way down to 330 RPM post-patch. And if you decide to equip rapid fire, we get a change from 445 RPM pre-patch all the way down to just 345 RPM. As a result, rapid fire is now a marginally useless attachment on the Stingray by only providing a very small RPM increase of just 4.5%. So it might be of best interest just to try to sub it out for another attachment that could be more useful, like grip to make sure your shots count, or stock just to make yourself a harder target. Thus with all these nerfs, is the Stingray still good? Well, surprisingly yes, more than ever actually in my opinion, as one key detail was left out of the patch notes, and that was that the Stingray's bullet ballistics were significantly improved from before. What this means is that the Stingray is incredibly more consistent by requiring little to no lead on targets at any range, giving it more of a feeling of just firing regular bullets rather than the slow-moving projectiles from before. To fully realize the difference here, I've put together a small compilation to just contrast the difference between the ballistics pre-patch and post-patch, just so you know what I'm talking about here.
Let's take them.
This and win the next round. Style Hellstorm inbound.
Assassin.
So these changes make this more resultingly of a rework rather than just a straight up nerf, just to make the Stingray feel more balanced with the fixed ballistics. But I do feel as if now it is more broken than it was before, since outstrafing the Stingray user isn't exactly an option anymore, which only leaves Flak Jacket and the Stingray itself as the best possible counters left for fighting this weapon. So bringing an end to this pretty short video, If you learned something useful, feel free to like, share, or subscribe. Every little bit is very much appreciated. And as always, thanks for stopping by, and until the next video.